What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, Teddy27.
What's good tonight? Right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink. Look, a damn mess. Just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What's up? It's me, Teddy27, and I am back for another review. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rolling around here to my part of the world. Rolling around here to watch me do another review. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for always coming back to see me. Don't forget to get in the comments section at the end. Anyway, this is going to be our review for Queen Sugar. This is season 5. It is episode 8. It is entitled June 3rd, 2020. Okay. Oh, that's good and strong. All right, so it's late. I got off work late, stayed up, watched this review. I am tired and fatigued, but we're going to push through and get through this regardless. All right, so we start off with Blue having nightmares about what he experienced with his dad because of the police and so forth. He's having a little post-traumatic stress. Oh God, it was just so awful having to watch this young man, this young boy, I should say, having to deal with the harsh realities of what it is to be a black male in these yet to be United States of America. Because we know across the fruited plains, black boys and black men are dealing with this and have dealt with this since we landed here on the shores of America. And I didn't say Plymouth Rock because that's just, I think Plymouth is the part that we know and acknowledge as the beginning, but there are thoughts and notions that it started before then. Anyway, but I mean that's just the reality of what it means to be a black boy in these yet to be United States of America, and so many black boys are dealing with this trauma, this stress, and so often they are forced to hey, don't be vulnerable, don't be a punk, don't be soft, don't be this, don't be that, and are not allowed to embrace and really grapple with and tackle all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the agony that it means to be a black male in these yet to be United States of America. And that's unfortunate. And you grow up with those scars, and you grow up with those wounds that sometimes never get closed. And it becomes exacerbated because you deal with it over and over and over. And society and even sometimes those in your own race continue to pour salt in the wounds or widen the wound, and it doesn't go away. It doesn't, and that's unfortunate. And I think that that's something that we first have to come to grips with among us as black people, and then once we get to a point where we can deal with it, then we can talk about trying to push the country forward. Because I think too many times we tell our young men, don't cry or don't be soft or you got to be hard or you have to be a certain type of way, instead of just allowing them to explore all of the rawness of their emotions, the fullness of the human emotion, that the human emotions that you go through when you are violated like that, and when you suffer those type of traumatic experiences. It was a powerful scene in just those first couple minutes. We then see Charlie. She's still on the couch. She can't move. She's Davis is calling and calling and calling, and banging on the door, calling for her. She can't move. So he ends up breaking through the glass door, coming in, and taking care of her. She thinks she has COVID, and I don't know where she got this COVID test that just tells her that she got COVID, but she believes that she got COVID, and so he's there for her. He has doctors on call, and he's calling back and forth to the doctors. They're giving him advice on what to do, how to do it, and how to push forward with getting her better. And so she's dealing with that, and Davis, thank God, he's there to help her. Now I know some of my fellow reviewers, probably even y'all don't see it for Davis, y'all don't want it for Davis, y'all don't want no parts of Davis, and y'all don't want him back on your television screen. I mean, if I'm being honest, after seeing his peen pics that got leaked all over Al Gore's good internet, I think it was after season 1, I don't want no parts of Davis West either. But I mean, because he has a lot to be desired in that department. But anyway, I think Charlie needs him. She does. And he's there for her. We then see Darla on the phone with her mom, Darlene, and they argue about Blue going to this prestigious school, private school that she was able to get him into, the one that the Obama girls went to. All about, she pulled some strings because of the Black Lives Matter and him being no legacy and this, that, and the third. She got him in on a free ride if he wants. So Darla don't want no parts of it. And that's because Darla remembers what it was like for her. She grew up like this, and she grew up going to private schools, and she talked about having to be the token black student and feeling detached from her own community and so forth. And she doesn't want that for Blue at all. And she's fighting it. We then see Vi and Nova on the phone. They're catching up, after the whole Ralph Angel Darla wedding, and her taking the girl back to school, and they're just catching up on everything that's been going on. And then, so Vi tells Nova that she believes White Boy Cop is probably going to ask her about marriage and propose to her, because if he's willing to talk about it, he's probably at the point where he's ready to propose. Um, then Vi talks about some of the difficulties that her and Hollywood are having, the ups and downs of being quarantined together and him still grappling with his grief from his mom passing and so forth. But she tells Nova that her and Hollywood are not okay. We then see David still at the house taking care of Charlie, doing all of those things, doing, wellness check. Well, not wellness checks, but checking her temperature, trying to move her from the couch to the bed like the doctors want her to. And she's being a typical person who's sick. Most of us, when we are sick, we are miserable people. We are horrible to be around. We are not the kind of people that you want any parts of. Most people are awful. And it takes a special breed of people to deal with sick people, because sick people are angry, they're ornery, their bodies don't feel well, and they want to take that pain out on everything and everybody around them. I know, because that's how I am. We then see White Boy Cop. He comes home, Nova's there, and she's happy to see him. And they start to talk about, they start to have the conversation again about marriage. And he tells her, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready. Um, I feel like he's ready, but I don't think Nova is. And I think we've been seeing this. I don't see them staying together. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I really feel like, y'all know I already don't see it for their relationship. But I feel like Nova has not fully embraced and come to terms with the fact that this is a white man that that she would be married to, and that goes against everything that she stands for. She'd be looking like a real big hypocrite. But who am I? Who am I? Anyway, Darla then calls Aunt Vi and talks to Aunt Vi about the conversation she had with her mom and how she doesn't want Blue to have to go. Aunt Vi is like, listen. And Darla even talks about how Ralph Angel was like, well, maybe he should go, and Ralph Angel was leading for him to go. Vi was like, by no stretch of the imagination, as long as there's life in my body and blood running warm through my veins, is Blue leaving. And she said, don't worry about it. I'll talk to Ralph Angel and I'll talk to your mom. And so, but she has Darla on speakerphone this whole time. So Mr. Prosper and Hollywood are listening to this whole conversation, and you can tell they were not here for it. They feel like, as most of us probably did listening to it, they feel like Vi is out of place. Vi, you got to let go. That is not your child. We are grateful and appreciative that you did what most family members will do. When you got a child in the family, you hold that child down. You make sure you do everything in your power so that child does not become a child of the system, that they can continue to be a part of the family, even if that means you have to be aunt and mom at the same time. And then when the time comes, mom and dad get it together. They can go back to their mom and dad, because that's what's supposed to happen. And I feel like she's overstepping. She's a matriarch, and that's fine. But Would called her on it and said, I thought we said we were going to leave her be and leave her alone. Not talk to her. And Val was like, nope. This is about Blue and Blue leaving. And by no stretch of the imagination, do you think I'm going to let this go? Nope. She wasn't here for it. Anyway, Charlie's still at home in bed. She's sleeping. David starts to have all of these flashbacks and is reminiscing on when they broke up and they split. I think that was season 2, maybe season 1. Whew. But I think it was season 2. Sorry, y'all. It's late. I'm tired. I ain't got no sleep. I'm real tired. I need to go to sleep. Anyway, but I think it was after somewhere in season 2. Anyway, he's checking her temperature every hour on the hour. She finally gets up. He says, "Listen, if you keep declining, I'm gonna have to take you to the hospital." She's like, "Nope, I'm not going to the hospital because I don't want to take up any beds for people who may really, really need it." He was like, "No, you may need it." And in my mind, I was with Davis. I was like, "Okay, you want to act like you're a superwoman, councilwoman, or whatever, but if you die from COVID, you ain't gonna be able to help a whole lot of people." Let's be clear. We learned it on the airplanes first. Put the face mask on yourself and secure your own safety before you start to help other people. I'm just saying. Anyway, um, he told her, "Yeah, that's not gonna be an option for you. If you continue to get worse, what's not gonna be an option is you thinking you're not going to the hospital. Let that go, boo." And so, but he's been caring for her hand and foot. When she even noted how he had put her hair in a ponytail to keep it from being in her face or whatever, and she didn't even notice because she'd been out of it. Then we find out that Micah's been calling, and she told Davis, "Don't answer my phone, and don't tell Micah that I'm sick." And Davis told her that's not fair. He deserves to know. Because she was like, "Oh, he's doing good work out there, and he's doing what he loves, and he wants to be there." But Davis was like, "You don't get the option to take away from him making the decision to come back and be there for his mom." And he told her, and I'm glad he did. He said, "If the shoe were on the other foot, you would want to know." And that hopefully that hit home, because if Michael was sick with COVID and Charlie didn't know, she would move heaven and earth once she found out. And for her not to tell her only child that she's sick and really sick, and not give him the opportunity to come back and see about his mama, that's disrespectful, that's selfish, and that's wrong. And she knows it is. But there's another reason why she doesn't want to get anybody else involved. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Vi then talks with Darlene, Darla's mom. This whole conversation went way left. Way left. And they go back and forth about, "Oh, when you wasn't around, I was here taking care of Blue. While you was over there in DC, I was over here taking care of Blue." And Darla's mom was like, "Well, I sent money or whatever." She did. And Vi was like, "But that ain't time, and you can't get time back. You can't make up time. You can make up money." They had this whole back and forth, so much so Darlene wasn't trying to hear it no more, and she hung up the phone on Vi. And when she did that, Hollywood comes in, and Hollywood said, "Listen, you overstepping on a situation that's not even yours to make. That doesn't even involve you." And shit, Vi wasn't trying to hear no parts of that. Vi was like, Vi goes off on Hollywood, like, And so Hollywood senses, nah, this ain't just about Blue. This is more. He says, "Listen, when you ready to tell me what's really going on, and what's really making you go off like this, you let me know." And she storms off. He had done touched the nerve. And I'm with Hollywood. It's not just about Blue. This is more than just Blue. Anyway, Ralph Angel and Darla, they talk at home about whether or not to send Blue. And they went back and forth about these different things. One of the big things that Ralph Angel has a problem with is, at this point, he wonders if he can truly protect Blue after the whole situation with the police officer. And you can tell he has apprehensions about whether or not he can truly protect Blue and allow him to be a child and things like that. But in my mind, I was like, sending him to DC ain't gonna do him no better than him staying there, if that's what you're concerned about. Because racists are everywhere, in the rural areas, in the urban areas, in every state, in every city, in every corner of this country. There's no saving him from being a black man in America. Period. Anyway, Darla put her foot down, said, "My son ain't going. He's not going. Let the shit go." I was here for Darla. I was here for her. We see Charlie get at home. She looks like she's getting worse. However, Davis is still there at every turn, right there, being there for her, helping her through it, being there, not sleeping, making sure that there is someone there at all times to see about her and to take care of her. Ralph Angel in Hollywood, they talk on FaceTime and they chop it up, about everything going on, talk about everything. This was Hollywood's chance to give Ralph Angel his gift, which was some Kentucky bourbon, and they're drinking and having a good time, just chopping it up like men do. They talked about how we love our wives, we love our black women, but we need some guy time, some male bonding. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that we need to talk to another man about because men see things different. I was here for it. Y'all know how I feel about the conversations between the black men on this show, so I was here for it. Um, we then the next thing we see, Vida did this special night for her in Hollywood, and she done fixed up the diner for this private dinner between him and her, and she done made a whole bunch of good food that made me so hungry. But one of the special dishes that she made is the mac and cheese that his mom used to make with the three cheeses or whatever. And they talk about the fact that he is still hurting and grieving, and you know, the both of them are like everyone having a hard time dealing with 2020 and all that 2020 brought and had to offer. I feel like they needed this night because I know Vi sensed there was some tension between them, some dissonance between them, I should say, and she sensed it and that they needed it. So I was glad to see that. Um, we then see Nova at home. She wakes up in the middle of the night and she goes and starts working on the true papers or whatever. She gets this email about um, a police brutality case where the police um, beat this young college athlete, and now he's paralyzed or whatnot at the hands of the police. And I think more and more she's grappling with the notion of being with a white police officer who she knows sat by and let a lot of police brutality happen. And although he may not have done it himself, by you staying silent, you basically were an accomplice because you protected your other police officers before you protected innocent citizens. A mess. I don't think this is going to end well for White Boy Cop. I don't. I don't. Um, we then see Vi in Hollywood. They're at home and they're talking. And she just got off the phone with Darla, who tells her, listen, Blue ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Um, Hollywood is then talks about go moving forward with the real spot. However, he's going to do it virtually, maybe via Zoom or something like that. And she tells him, baby, that's a great idea. This, that, and the third. Then they have this conversation after the whole decision with Blue is made, and Hollywood was like, listen, all of that rah 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 you had for Darlene, it was something else. And whenever you're ready to talk about that, let me know. I can't put my finger on what else Vi is dealing with, and I'm curious to know because sometimes for me, Vi, I don't know. Some not that I don't like Vi and I love Vi and her character, but sometimes in moments like this, I get detached from her character and I lose a lot of sympathy for her character because she sometimes gets so standoffish and so closed in about how she feels that I stop caring because I get to a point with some people when I ask and ask and ask and I want to know what's going on and I want to know what's going on and I want to know what's going on and you keep refusing me. I get to the point where I'm like, okay, fine, you ain't gonna tell me. I don't want to know. And even when you do get to the point where you want to tell me, I'm past it and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to know no more. And then they get mad and they want to force it on me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to know. And then I seem like a horrible person that doesn't care. But I did in the beginning, and you never told me. So that's kind of I get to those points with Vi at times. Um. So yeah. Anyway, but you see that Vi after Hollywood said that to her, you see Vi acknowledges that yeah, it is something. And she'll probably come around and tell him, but she lets me know, yeah, it is something else. I don't know if I'm ready to tell you yet, but it is something else. We then see Charlie and Wes. They're still at the house. And Charlie's doing, she's not in the woods yet, but she's improving. And this is where Davis says, well, do you want to call Nova or Aunt Vi or Ralph Angel or somebody? And she said, I don't want you to tell anyone about any of this and anything that's going on. And I think it's twofold with that. Part of it is Charlie has this persona that she projects. She wants to come off as this superwoman that's never fragile, that's never vulnerable, that's unbreakable, that is just this formidable fortress of a woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not human. That's just not humanly possible. That's part of it. The other part is, I think she's embarrassed. Not embarrassed about her getting sick of being vulnerable. I think she's embarrassed about Davis, because everybody believes that she's this strong black woman that can do everything on her own, and she washed her hands with Davis and turned the page on that. And for people to then know that she still had to rely and depend on Davis, and he had to be there to do it for her, I think she's a little embarrassed by that. And so I think that's why she doesn't want anybody to know, because she doesn't want to have to explain or give any answers as to why it had to be Davis and why she didn't call anybody else. What I do hope this does is, I don't necessarily want to see her back with Davis. I hope that's not where they're going. But I do hope that this opens her up to finding love. What happened to Boppy, Hispanic dude? Y'all remind me in the comment section. I'm going to have to go back and watch my own reviews from last season. But I'm trying to remember what happened to the Spanish dude. Like, he just fell off the face of the earth. Whatever. Y'all will tell me in the comment section. I know. Anyway. That's what's going on with Charlie. We then see Ralph Angel, Darla, and Blue. They're at home. They're playing Jenga. They're having a family game night. It's beautiful. It's cute. Ralph Angel gets up and dances, and there's this wonderful banter and this wonderful connection between this beautiful black family. And I love that they ended with this black family just being happy, just loving on each other. And so Ralph Angel goes to the kitchen and makes some popcorn. Darla comes in there, and he looked over the little acceptance letter, and he kind of comes to the realization that, I need my whole family here. I need my son here. And so him and Darla talk about, we can't have a family without having Blue. And so they settle in on, we're not going to send him. And they just have this, it kind of goes off from there because they have this wonderful moment between them as a family. Y'all know, whenever they end on something good, something's coming down the pipe. Something bad is about to happen. I don't know what, but I'll be here for you all when it does happen. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Get in the comment section. That's all I ask. I don't actually do nothing else but get in the comment section and let me know what you think. Good, bad, or in between, whether you agree, disagree, or anything. We love to argue about what we saw and how it may be different. Anyway, until next time, that's all I got for y'all. I'm LTD27. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.